What's up, guys? Welcome back to another APV stream. Today's episode is going to feature a good friend of mine, Luke Hertzler. If you guys haven't seen the episode before with Luke, I encourage you guys to do that, learn a little bit about him, what he does. Currently, he plays football at Missouri S&T. I got a chance to go to high school with him, play baseball. So like I said, if you guys haven't seen that one, please go check that out. So what this stream is going to look like today, first off, I want to thank you all for joining. And I want to encourage you all to engage. We're going to be doing a Q&A just like I did with Alex last week, and some trivia. I got 10 questions of trivia all set up. And with that trivia, Luke's going to have 1 minute to answer it. And there's going to be mainly NFL questions. And one second. Okay. So, and if you guys can't hear me or anything like that, please let me know if I'm cutting out or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce Luke. Let me go ahead and do that. As always, I like to introduce the guest, let him explain who he is if you guys haven't seen that episode. So here we go. All right. You hear me, Luke?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All righty. So, guys,
Audio's kind of doubling up, so I'm trying to.
Oh, yeah. You
make sense.
got it on your laptop, too?
Yeah.
I got you. All right. So, to start things off, let's do, I'll give you about 5 minutes or so if you need that much time. Just explain to the audience who you are, and if they haven't seen that episode, kind of what you're doing right now.
So my name's Luke Hertzler. As Jamie said, I went to high school with Jamie. Mostly played football there. I was quarterback starting my sophomore year in 14. And then Jamie and I actually became teammates my senior year when everyone convinced me to go out and play baseball. So that's when Jamie and I started really starting to hang out a lot more. And now I'm playing football at Missouri S&T in Rolla. It's kind of confusing. So I'm in my senior year of school, my last undergrad semester, and I start my MBA next semester. But I guess I'm a sophomore on the field because I got 2 more years of eligibility. But yep, at Missouri S&T, and thanks for having me on the show, Jamie.
Of course. All right, so I'm going to ask you a few Q&As here. Got to flash this, show it to the audience. But the first question I want to ask you, and I probably know the answer to this, but what's your favorite sport and why?
Well, I'd have to say football. And probably my first love, I started playing in 4th grade and fell in love with it ever since. And definitely just enjoy playing with my brothers, and it's like a family. So I have some of my favorite memories just from playing football, and I've made a lot of great friends for life. So definitely football, and it's probably my favorite sport to watch on Sundays. So
yeah, no, I agree. I love watching some football on Sundays. So transitioning from that, specifically for football, how do you think that's impacted your life? Growing from on and off the field. We talked about the coaches, teammates, all that stuff in our other episode. But overall, how has sports in general changed your life for the better?
That's a good question. I think I've learned a lot from football, just the aspects of working in a team. And as a quarterback, I've also been able to learn a lot of leadership skills and how to interact with certain guys, how to encourage people, how to push people to be their best, and also lead by example. So it's taught me a lot of just how to stay accountable. It's also taught me how to work really hard, and I really wanted to play in college. So having that goal kind of it pushed me to work hard. And if I didn't have football, I probably wouldn't have learned those life lessons throughout playing in 4th grade. I've torn my ACL twice, so I've learned how to handle different types of adversity, and just start, and it's helped me realize where my identity actually is. Um, my identity isn't all the way wrapped up in football as much as I'd like it to be, but being able to find my identity in my faith and in what Jesus says about me, that's a little that has like shown me of like football isn't all about my life. That's not the only thing I do. There's more to what I do. So those are some few things I'll learn from football.
Yeah, I got you. So growing up, aside from playing football, being able to watch it, like you said you really enjoy watching football. Was there a team that you grew up loving? I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this as well. But do you have a favorite sports team, and specifically football?
Man, um, so being from St. Louis, I was a big Rams fan. Uh, we sucked like all the years I've watched, but um, I was a super diehard Rams fan and watched them like every Sunday. And then they decided to get up and leave and go to LA. So I despise the Rams now. But as I became a free agent in the fandom, I picked up the Green Bay Packers, and I have to say I'm very happy with my decision there. And we've been having a pretty good season. So when you have a good quarterback, it makes it really easy to watch.
Yeah, that is true. And unfortunately, the Rams never really had that in St. Louis. I don't know
No,
how many games you got to see, but it was bad.
it was yeah.
So next question I have for you is: there's someone that you idolize in a sport? It can be football, it can be basketball, whatever. But do you have like a mentor or someone that is a role model for you?
I wouldn't say I idolize anybody, but there's definitely a lot of people I look up to. Um, Obviously, I look up to Aaron Rodgers. He's my favorite quarterback. I just like the way he plays the game, and he's really fun to watch. And um, it's also, so I've been listening to the Pat McAfee show, and he goes on there every Tuesday. So it's been kind of cool to like see like his personality off the field. So that's definitely one guy I look up to. Um, look up to Russell Wilson a lot just because his faith and also like what he does on and off the field and the leadership that he displays on the field and in his team. And then I would also say, growing up watching Tim Tebow, that was another guy where he might not have been great in the NFL, but the person that he was and you know kind of his story has meant a lot to me and something I've looked up to too.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna shift a little bit about memories and lifetime achievements, all that kind of stuff. I want to ask you a little bit about the state run that you guys had. I think it was that your senior year, or it would have been
Yeah.
okay. So your senior year. First off, what was that like for you? It's not every day that everybody gets a chance to play in a state run or go for state like that, and let alone honestly, Parkway North isn't the biggest school. They're not really known for being too successful in sports. I like to think different from that, but it is true. So what was that? And being the quarterback of that team, you had a lot of responsibility. So what did that mean to you?
Man, that was definitely a very memorable year. I've been playing with the same group of guys since like fifth, sixth, seventh grade. So we had built this great camaraderie and we knew how to play with each other. So my favorite part of that year was just being able to play with um, the brothers that I've made through football and being able to grow up together and dream together of like, all right, we're going to win state. We're going to, bring the first state championship to Parkway North. And unfortunately, we fell a game short, but like that run was really special because I was able to do it with um, some of my favorite guys I've ever played with. And you had Coach Bunton on the show podcast last week, so that's another guy like I really enjoyed playing with, and it was super special to be able to have a good season for him too because he's been doing it for so long.
Yeah. So then transitioning into playing at Missouri S&T, what is it? What is it like to play from a smaller school like Parkway North and then into a Division II school? I mean, it's not a Division I, but you still have some great competition, big guys. What has that been like for you? Has the transition been hard? And I know you had some injuries as well, but what was that like for you?
I mean, it was at first it was a dream come true for sure. Just I'd been thinking about playing in college for so long, and God like orchestrating that whole thing to give me the opportunity to go here, and it was like really cool. I mean, once I got there, I've learned a lot in the past. I guess I've been here 4 years now. Um, I mean, everybody's good. Like everybody can play football. There's like the people generally coming from like being recruited are the best on their team. So it was cool to like play with a lot of talent, and um, I found you know I've been rooming with the same guy since freshman year. He's a receiver, so we've been able to build a good relationship. But it definitely took a year and a half to really adjust to college football because I mean everybody's big, everybody's faster, and being able to kind of transition into a more of a role where like in high school I ran the offense, but it wasn't as in depth as it gets in college. So I had a lot of football knowledge to learn on top of that. But after being here and adjusting, like I'm super comfortable playing, and um, hopefully going into the next season I can get an opportunity to play. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's a dream come true. I cherish playing football. So
Yeah. So going forward, my last kind of question for the Q&A, and then we'll take a little break. But what are your goals for the rest of your career, even if it ends, next year, the year after? What's your goal, your ultimate goal that you want to say, when you finally leave, you hang up the cleats, what do you want to say to yourself? Uh, I accomplished X or Y, whatever.
I think that's a good question. I think my goals coming into my freshman year will have my goals have definitely changed over time. Like I haven't been able to play as much as I've wanted to, so it's kind of um, changed kind of my perspective too. Because not being able to play college football has been a goal of mine. So being able to accomplish that has been um, like really exciting for me. But some of the goals is I want to start in this next spring season. So I'm rehabbing from an ACL surgery. So the goal right now is to get healthy and compete at a high level whenever I get back to camp and practices. And then, we got a regular fall season hopefully after that, and then I'll have another year after that. So my goal right now is to just, be that leader on the field and also off the field. So we started a football Bible study this past August, and we've been doing that each week. And we've had about like 20, 25 guys come each week. So that's been another goal of mine is to continue to, have the Bible study and then hand it off to a younger guy who can continue that legacy too.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's all good stuff. Before we take a break, I just want to say to you guys, first off, thank you so much, Luke, for doing this. We're going to come back in about 5 minutes, do some trivia. Like I said, guys, please, I encourage you all to engage with this. We're going to have 10 questions, 1 minute each. You'll be able to see the question on there. So for anyone that's in live at that time, feel free to try to answer it. Luke, you won't be able to look at that because I don't want you to cheat or anything. But yeah, and like I said also, guys, if you haven't seen the episode with Luke, you can check it out. It's just labeled Interview with Luke Hertzler. So go check that out. I want to thank you guys, and we'll be back in just about 5 minutes. Alrighty, we are back on a Playmakers View stream. Thank you guys for joining us. We're gonna be doing some trivia here. Like I said, we got 10 questions. I'm gonna give Luke a minute. You're gonna see on the screen. It's gonna be a 60-second countdown. So if you answer it quickly, then whatever. But if not, I'm gonna have to give you the answer after 60 seconds, just so we can keep a good time and all that. If you're just joining us, thank you so much. And remember to go back and check out the episode with Luke, which featured about a month ago. And it doesn't have too many views, so it'd be nice to get some more views and you guys can learn about Luke. Also, within that episode, he talked a lot about his financial business. So before we do trivia, if I'm going to plug your business a little bit, Luke, you can tell the audience about that, your financial, helping people out and be financially happy, successful, all that stuff. So I'll give you a few minutes to take the stage on that.
Yeah, so over the summer, I started a financial coaching business, really working with young adults, helping them, helping them with their day-to-day personal finance. So some people get out of debt, get on a budget, and then start achieving their financial goals and dreams. 78% of America lives paycheck to paycheck right now, so it's definitely needed where people just, especially like you and me, like our age group, like there's not a lot of financial education that we get in high school and in college. So I provide a service where I meet one-on-one with people, helping them personally with their situation and helping them get through, paying off debt and getting on the budget and doing all those types of things and investing for the future. So if anybody's interested, we'll probably put my email in the chat box. But yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so that's definitely something good, and I'm proud of you for doing that. Hopefully, it becomes pretty successful, and you can help people out in many different ways.
Yeah,
All right.
appreciate it.
So we're gonna start with question number 1. We've got who won the first ever Super Bowl, and you have 60 seconds starting now.
I can't Google the answer.
I mean, I'm not gonna know if you do, so.
I think it's the Chiefs, but or it could be the Packers, or it could be the Steelers. I think it's one of those three.
All right, I'll give you 10 seconds. Choose one of them. And if anybody that's watching knows, feel free to comment.
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
Sorry, that is incorrect.
Who was it?
The answer is the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, I should have known that. That's gonna make me look really bad.
I was thinking that too because, it's your favorite team and all that. But yeah, 1967 Packers won. That was a long time ago.
I think they beat the Chiefs. That's
right?
Probably
what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't research it that far, but yeah, that's. If anybody knows out there, please let us know. All right, second question. Who is the only NFL player to have also played in the MLB? And I'll start you right now.
Deion Sanders.
That is correct. Deion Sanders.
Right.
Do you know which teams he played for?
Like in the MLB?
Yeah. Well, who did he play for in the MLB? And he played for 2 teams, but mainly one team in the NFL as well.
Well, in the NFL, he played for the Falcons, and then he also played for the Cowboys. I believe he played for the Raiders for a little bit too.
Yeah, it was mainly with the Cowboys. That's when his contract was mainly with them. And then for baseball, I played with Atlanta Braves. So
yeah,
that's pretty incredible. We don't see that a lot today. I was going to ask you about that. We had Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson, all 2 people who could have played baseball and football. What are your thoughts on that, though? Like, do you think that Kyler Murray could ever transition over to baseball after his football career?
I mean, I think Russell Wilson has done a little bit in I think he's gone to training camps and stuff.
Yeah.
I believe they were both drafted in the MLB too, so teams have their, I guess, pick on their name. So if they ever go to baseball, then but
yeah,
I mean, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
So who knows? But they're both really good quarterbacks, so they probably make a little bit more money in the NFL.
Yes, that is for sure. Just get banged up a little more. All right. Question number 3. What team won 3 Super Bowls in the 90s?
The Cowboys.
Yeah, didn't even take you 2 seconds. Was the
Yeah.
Cowboys. Now, here's the tricky part. Can you name which years that was in?
I can't name. I mean, I can guess. I can say like.
Well, you only have 10 years to guess on, so it's not.
Yes, I mean, I think 96.
It's one.
That's one.
Yeah.
93.
That is one.
And 94.
That is also one. That was good.
I just got all 3. There we go.
Yeah, nice job. All right. Question number 4. Who holds the single season record for touchdown receptions?
Touchdown receptions. Oh, I think it's Randy Moss.
Correct. Yep. Randy Moss won it. You know what team he was with?
He was the Patriots, right?
Yep, in 07. He had 23 in that year, which, I mean, that's...
I think Brady threw for like 50 or something, too.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on Brady, before we get into the next question? What are your thoughts on him? Actually, let me... Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. I have a question that kind of relates to that. So,
All right.
Question number 5. What were the Green Bay Packers originally called?
They've always been the Packers, right?
No. Well, no. Wait.
Then what were they? Yeah, then I don't know. You're just pulling out all the Green Bay. You're making me look bad.
No. They've always been the Packers. But what has their, like, instead of Green Bay, there was something before that. And it was because of a sponsor that they had. There's your hint. Like, it was a company that sponsored them, and that's how they got it.
I know, like, the Packers came from, like, a packing company, but I don't know what the name of the company
was. The answer is I think it's Indian Packers, which is weird, but so yeah, it was like the Indian Packing Company in 1919 was a big company that I guess bought the Packers, and that was like their nickname, or they had ownership with them. So yeah, it's kind of interesting.
That makes sense. I mean, the whole Indian thing, because when you go up to Wisconsin, there's a whole bunch of like names of cities named after like Indian people and things like that, and tribes.
Yeah. All right, you might know this one.
So far, so good. I think I've gotten like all of them except for the first one. I missed like the first Super Bowl.
Yeah. Okay, so the next question is, how many Green Bay Packers are in the Hall of Fame?
Oh man.
And I will tell you this is that it is pretty high up there on like the ranks of other teams.
I mean, I don't know the exact number, but I would say like 25. That's my guess.
That's pretty dang good. That's 26. And second all time, because the Chicago Bears have 30. So I mean they're pretty good up. They're pretty up there.
It's been a good division, man.
I'd say that the Green Bay Packers, like historically, when you think about them, probably one of the best, one of the better historically like known teams.
Yeah.
So
it definitely helps to have like 3 like Hall of Fame quarterbacks basically back to back.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Next question. In 1979, this Hall of Fame quarterback was drafted in the 82nd drafted 82nd overall. Who was it?
Repeat it again.
In 1979, this Hall of Fame QB was drafted 82nd overall. Who was it? A long time ago.
Art Starr. That's going to be my answer.
All right. Hold on 1 second. So the answer is actually Joe Montana.
Okay, yeah. See, that's a hard question. I wasn't like.
Yeah, you weren't born
like
then.
2 times my life right there.
I understand that. Yeah, so Joe Montana won 4 Super Bowls with
Mhm.
The 49ers Super Bowl MVP, arguably one of the best. And I wanted to wait to talk about Tom Brady because I think it was like the 8th round is when he was picked, something late.
Yeah,
Um,
pick 199.
so what are your thoughts on that? About just Tom Brady in general. What are your thoughts on him? I guess.
Well, if he's obviously the GOAT. I mean, he's won so many Super Bowls, and he's been to a lot of Super Bowls, and I mean, he's played for 20 years and been consistently good. But it's really interesting. Like he was not picked at the he's picked 199, but got the opportunity and just ran with it. So I think a lot. He's the prime example of you know it's not always your talent. It's not always your I guess your college tape, but it's kind of the opportunities you get.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, if the quarterback didn't get injured in front of him, then we might not have ever heard of Tom Brady. And that kind of goes for a lot of other people throughout the NFL, like Aaron Rodgers. He got drafted. He fell in the draft too. So he went to the Packers, a historically good organization with quarterback Brett Favre, and he had a couple years to learn, and then went in and started playing really well. Whereas, like, I mean, you think about Dwayne Haskins, he got drafted really high, went to the Redskins, and they're like a dumpster fire right now, and
Yeah.
he just didn't have a good opportunity to start his career.
Mhm. I mean,
But I think that's Tom Brady. He fell into like a really good system with Belichick, but he's also the best quarterback of all time.
yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's the best probably to ever do it. But like the situation he was in, to think about it. I mean, like you said, if that guy didn't get injured, where would he have been right now? I mean, he could have maybe never played an actual football game or NFL football game in his life, or ever got a chance to play in the playoffs, play it, let alone 5 games. Like it's pretty crazy to think about. Um, and that just goes to say you just never know.
Yeah,
Um,
you never know. You gotta take your opportunities where you can get them.
exactly. Yeah. All right. Next question. We got who coached the Packers for the longest amount of time?
Vince Lombardi.
No.
Who is it? Is it McCarthy?
Well, this is Earl, uh, Lambeau. I don't know. I don't know who that is. You may know that. I don't know. Whatever. It's
Well, interesting. Yeah, I mean
well.
the
We'll
stadium's
fact check
named
that.
after him.
Yeah, we'll fact check that. I could be wrong. Who knows? All right, I got 2 more questions. Which we probably should show it. Which NFL player changed his name to fit his jersey number?
Chad Ochocinco or Chad Johnson.
Yeah. Do you know what year he did that
Yeah,
in?
played for the Bengals. Huh?
You know what year he did that in?
What year? Man, I have to say it was like 2010, 2011, kind of that area.
Close. Yeah, is 2008, and he actually changed it back in 2012. So who knows what's going on with his brain? But
Well, I mean, everybody still knows him as Ochocinco,
oh
though.
yeah,
So,
I mean, if you think of that's the only person that's the only way I know of him. So
Mhm.
all right, last question for you here. Which NFL team has played in 3 different cities?
Go ahead and three. Um, it's either the Browns or the Colts.
It's neither.
Neither. So then, yeah, I don't. Well, I guess the Rams if you're gonna like count LA twice, but
No, it was the Rams, and it's because um, the Rams originally started in Cleveland. If you didn't know that,
oh,
uh,
okay.
so they went from Cleveland to L.A. to St. Louis, and unfortunately back to L.A. So
Well, yeah,
yeah, I mean that was
always the Rams.
1937 is when they were in Cleveland. So it was like when they first ever started, which is probably irrelevant. All right,
Interesting.
so
Well, I hope they lose the rest of their games forever because
yeah,
I hate
we
the Rams.
we don't really like Stan Kroenke or the Rams anymore. So, um,
No.
but yeah, all right, we're gonna move on to just some predictions and thoughts. So again, if there's anybody out there listening and wants to chime in, please feel free to do so. We're gonna talk about just the NFL playoffs, the season as a whole, things about COVID, um, our favorite players, things like that. So first off, I just want to start. What are your thoughts and how have you felt about this NFL season so far? With everything going on with COVID and everything, how do you think the NFL has handled it? And have you been able to enjoy, like you said, you enjoy to sit down on a Sunday afternoon and watch some football. So is that the same feeling that you've always had?
Yeah, I mean, the NFL's done a really good job, but they played, I think, every game except for one, and one got postponed. So, I mean, the fact that they've been able to do that, and I mean, a bunch of players have obviously gotten COVID and had to miss games, and it's, you know, changed the schedule up a lot. But I mean, they've adjusted enough and they've done everything they can to play, and that's all you can really ask for.
Yeah.
I mean, we're having a season. If we didn't have football, like, I don't know, like what America would do because everybody watches football, at least most of America.
Well, yeah, and that's how I felt like when it started, when COVID was hitting, like when it first started and all that. We
Mm.
got shut down. Personally, like my season got canceled, and I was just like, how are y'all gonna live without sports? Like even for the people who don't play it, it's something that people look forward to. When they're off work, you have Sunday off, and then you can enjoy some football. So,
Yeah,
I'm thankful that it is that way. And honestly, it hasn't been too bad with COVID stuff. I know
yeah,
there's people who've got missed games and all that stuff, but there hasn't been too many unless they're not telling us and all that stuff. But I
yeah.
think I think it's gone
It's
well.
it's definitely been interesting because, like, I mean, we've been able to play games, but and the nice thing is, like, yeah, like sports, it brings us together. So like, it's definitely been nice, but like, there's no fans in the stands. Like that's like, or at least it's very minimal. It's very interesting to watch, but I mean, they've definitely figured out a way. I think they've upped their protocols and stuff. Like they're wearing masks on the sideline, but I mean, we're in the last quarter of the season, and it seems like they're gonna get it done. So
Yeah, and especially too, there was coaches who got fat fines for not wearing masks, and I think
that's
that
fine.
I think that was pretty important though. Like I think that really helped them get things under control.
Mhm.
So unfortunately for them, I think it was someone from the Seahawks. I think
Yeah,
there's a number of people. Um,
yeah. What I think is interesting though is because, like, all of those guys, they get tested every single day throughout the week. So I mean, it's got to be annoying that, like, we're literally doing everything, like we're socially distancing, and then we're practicing with masks and doing all this stuff with masks, and we test every day, and then they're like, well, you got to wear your masks on the sideline, which I think it's more of like a visual thing for people watching, because if you're just watching and there's people aren't wearing masks, it kind of looks bad in the pandemic.
yeah,
So there's definitely some visual, like, protocols that they've made just so, like, it looks like they're keeping everybody safe. I mean, they are, but yeah.
yeah, no doubt. So the next thing I want to ask you is, who do you think can possibly win it all? You think your Packers can take it all the way? Do you think we'll be seeing a Chiefs repeat? There's so many different. There's good teams out there. Steelers are still undefeated. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, like there's so many possibilities. So, what are your thoughts on that? If you have any predictions?
Yeah, I think they're. I mean, the clear cut favorite would probably be the Chiefs, but like they just played the Broncos and they didn't play like exceptionally well. Like their offense kind of sputters out sometimes, even though they have all of those weapons.
Hmm.
The Bucks, they have kind of the same thing. They have all those weapons and Tom Brady and like a really, really good defense. So like they can be really scary, but then they haven't played up to par in certain games. I think obviously the Packers definitely have a chance, especially if you have Aaron Rodgers. Their offense looks really good. The defense is a liability, but they've continued to. Seems like they're getting better. the only thing that really worries me is their run game, and that's the 49ers exposed that last year. And then Steelers, I mean, they're in it. They're undefeated, obviously. The Ravens kind of exposed them a little bit. They have the defense and Ben Roethlisberger, experienced quarterback. I mean, you can kind of see a repeating pattern. Is like if you have a consistent quarterback who's done it before, then you've got a chance. So, but I think it's all up in the air. That there's not like nobody's really separated themselves. You know what I'm saying? What do you think?
Yeah, I know. I agree with that. I think that I've watched football for a long time now, and I think this year is one of the most wide open years that it has been, and maybe for in a long time, because you have teams that have those weapons, like you're saying. And I want to ask you, the last thing that we'll talk about after this is dynamic duos for each teams. There's a number of teams that have dynamic duos: quarterback, wide receiver, quarterback, running back. For the Packers, we're gonna get into that and all that. But seriously, like, there's so many teams out there that have a chance to do it. And I personally don't really have a favorite team. I kind of just go by my fantasy football stuff. So, like, I have both Kyler Murray and Aaron Rodgers on my football teams. So, I root for both those teams. I think that the Steelers have a good chance with the experience they have, but they also do have a lot of young guys too. You have Roethlisberger and Schuster, but there also is a number of like rookies and young guys. I'm pretty sure is Claypool a rookie, or is he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have a number of rookies there, and in that sense, I think that's their biggest problem is not having all the experience. Because, like you said, it does come down to that. And I think Chiefs do have a good chance to repeat just because of that experience again. If they stay healthy, Travis Kelce's going off right now, and yeah, so there's a lot of possibilities. I think the Tom Brady era has really come to an end just because definitely getting older and his body probably can't take it as well as he used to be able to. Um, but like they have Gronk, they have some good weapons as well. So
I would kind of disagree with that. I mean, I think Tom Brady has played pretty well. I mean, he's in a brand new system, so he's learning everything and new coach, and it's a whole new scenario for him. So, and he's got the weapons, and I mean, he's been there, done that. So, like, he knows what he's doing. So, I definitely don't think the Tom Brady era is over, especially with the defense that they have there too.
yeah, that'll be interesting too because I mean, for a lot of people too, I think that people thought that it was over. I think people think the Tom Brady era was over, and then you see he goes to Tampa Bay, and they're like, "Oh, Tampa!" Like, personally, for me at least, sorry, you know, I didn't think he was gonna do much there. And then you see they're gonna get all these wide receivers, and you're gonna get Gronk, like he's reunited with Gronk, and I was like, okay, well, this could be him getting back to his GOAT status, and it's just, um, it was kind of a heartbreaking thing for me because like you want to, I as a sports fan in general, you want to see different people win it each year, and I think like he had his time. He was probably one of the best to ever do it, but I think there comes a time when it's over with. So I respect him, his work ethic, all that stuff, but I really don't want to see him win anymore. I'd like to see someone like Pat Mahomes or Ben Roethlisberger. It'd be cool to see him get a title. With all the injuries he's battled. I think Aaron Rodgers too. He's so underrated in my opinion. Aaron Rodgers is probably one of the best to ever do it as well. So I just personally want someone else to do it this year. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, I agree. It is nice to see like different teams win it. Like, I mean, the Seahawks have won it, and Chiefs now, and you had the Ravens and Broncos, but then you just see that it's like the Patriots each year because Tom Brady and Belichick. But I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Brady do it again just because he's like the best quarterback of all time, and like when he's done, he's done. So being able to look back, like, yeah, we watched Tom Brady like dominate the league for 20 years would be kind of cool too.
Yeah, no, I agree
But,
with that.
yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna. I know it's pretty early still, but I want to end with us talking about those dynamic duos that there are. So when I think of dynamic duos, I think about Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. Russell Wilson and Metcalf,
Hmm.
um, Aaron Rodgers and Adams or whatever,
Yeah, Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams. I'm sure there's more out there. So, what do you first off? What do you think the impact of those quote unquote dynamic duos are? And even when you have like for the Chiefs as well, you have someone like Kelsey. So like, what is that? How much of an edge does that put for a team like the Chiefs? You know, can that take him to that repeat of a Super Bowl?
As far as like like how do the dynamic duos affect the team?
Yeah, just like how do you think they have the better edge over people like um well, I guess for I was thinking of the Cardinals for some reason, but you think about Kyler Murray and Hopkins too, like they have something too. So teams that lack that, so I guess who does Joe Burrow have? Let's start with that. What kind of quarterback doesn't have someone to throw to in your eyes?
I mean, you can start with the Jets. They're also a dumpster fire. So the Jets have nobody.
Yeah.
Um, Jacksonville, I also think, doesn't really have a solid group of receivers. But I mean, the fact, like, I think what dynamic duos bring is just the unpredictability of, you know, trying to defend that offense. So, like, like, for example, we can talk about the Cardinals. Like, Kyler Murray has a great arm, and you have to, like, make sure you know where DeAndre Hopkins is because he's, like, arguably the best receiver in the league. So you have to always account for him in your coverages, which then opens the door for like the legend Larry Fitzgerald or Christian Kirk. But then Kyler Murray also runs and he has that athletic ability. So then you have to it puts defenses in a bind. So you can go with the Packers. Rodgers can pick apart a defense. We have a great offensive line. He's only been sacked like 13 times this year. Carson Wentz has been sacked 50 times. So you have to like cover for a long time. And then the Packers also have a great run um, offense, and then we have a great play action. So like it's hard to like uh, guard that when you don't know what's coming. So that's what I think a dynamic duo gives, like makes it difficult for defenses to defend because there's so many options. And then I mean you have like Tyreek Hill. He's like the best receiver there, but he opens up so many opportunities for the other guys on the team too.
Yeah, I think that's super important. Like the ability to be able to pass to someone like that opens up their
Mm-hmm.
running game so much, and vice versa too. Like if you have people who can run the ball, you can do play action and things like that. So I think that's
Mm-hmm.
super important, and I think that that can lead someone to a Super Bowl. So with that being said, I want to leave. We'll end the stream a little bit early. I want to just get your Super Bowl prediction for this season. No bias here.
So
Can't have bias.
I definitely think the Chiefs are just going to be in the Super Bowl for AFC, and then there's also we haven't talked about the Saints. The Saints are good. I mean, they don't have Drew Brees, but they have they've been playing really well. So you don't really know like I don't really know with the Saints if Drew Brees will be back and be healthy, but it's I think there isn't a defense in the NFC that's going to be able to stop the Packers if they're playing at the best of their ability. So I'm definitely going to take Chiefs Packers kind of rematch of the first Super Bowl ever, and then hopefully Packers will win this one too because that
Yeah.
one's the first that I didn't know.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. All right,
Yeah.
guys.
What about
So,
you? What are your predictions?
well, okay. Yeah, thank you for asking. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm like I think I've gone into being a Chiefs fan because of the Rams leaving. So I would love to see them win again. And not only that, but I think that Patrick Mahomes is starting to become a like Tom Brady caliber if he wasn't already. You know, he's up there. Um, so many weapons, and he's got a Hall of Famer coach. So I think that they have the ability to do that. Now I do think if your Packers are playing as well as they do, like right now, they definitely will have some difficulty repeating. I think that the Packers defense also has played decently well. I mean, they haven't been outstanding, but I think they can hold their own against someone like the Chiefs.
Mhm.
But I definitely think that their offense has to stay hot like it is right now in order to win it all. So
Yeah.
it will be interesting. Like, and also the experience comes into it as well. Having someone like Aaron Rodgers who knows everything could
Mhm.
play a huge factor in that. So
Yeah. I mean, the Chiefs are a favorite. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, as young as he is, he already has a Super Bowl and MVP, and Andy Reid is just a genius. So
yeah,
yeah, it's going to be interesting.
it is.
Hopefully, Packers can get it done because they were close last year too. So
Yeah, and knock on wood, this doesn't happen, but hopefully they complete this season. I mean, I
yeah,
I
yeah.
think a lot of us were doubtful when it started. I mean, I personally myself, I didn't think that they would be able to get this under control, especially because they weren't in a bubble like the NHL was, or
Mhm.
the MLB after in their playoffs was. So it will be interesting. Fingers crossed they can complete that. And for the viewers who came on to this podcast, I want to thank you all so much. Feel free to you can still leave a comment. You can DM me, email me. Go ahead and check out. I added a link to the video with Luke, so go ahead and check that out. It's a great video. Learn a lot about him, so check that out. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and like I said, just always reach out to me with comments and anything like that. So thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys are doing well. We'll be back next week with the stream, probably on Monday from 7 to 8 once again. And yeah, so take care, guys.